Next generation high-capacity coherent transmission systems at 400G and above will demand different sets of requirements depending on the target applications. Martin Guy of Ciena outlines some of the applications and what is needed. Martin, thanks for talking to us. Yeah, tell us what some of these applications are.
So basically, we can find two different types of application in the market space today. One which is really optimized for performance. So it's about spectral efficiency, very high reach, and very high baud rate. So that's really performance optimizations where you need a very complex DSP, I would say, and also high bandwidth EO components. So that's really key requirements. The other side is the footprint optimized solutions. So those are really optimized for lower power, smaller footprint, and the goal is really to fit into those very small pluggable modules like USFP-DD and OSFP. So that's a different set of requirements, and they are really optimized for maximizing the power efficiency both at the optical components level and at the DSP level. So photonic integration is extremely important for that, as well as a low power DSP.
How do they actually differ from what went before?
I would say that for the performance optimizations, if I talk about photonics components, which was the main goal of my talk, you really need very high bandwidth components, and when I say bandwidth, it's really the analog bandwidth. For those future high performance systems, you need bandwidth up to 50 gigahertz bandwidth, analog bandwidth. And even more in the future, we're talking of 60 and 70 gigahertz bandwidth, so which is pretty different from what we were doing in the past with lower bandwidth analog bandwidth. While for the footprint optimized, as I said previously, it's really about lowering the power consumption. So you need to, of course, have electronics which does not consume a lot of energy, and same thing for the photonics. Because you're driving the photonics, so of course you don't want to drive the photonics at a too high level. So if you want to reduce the power consumption, basically.
How far away are we realistically in terms of needing some of these applications?
I would say that we are pretty there. Okay. We will have 800 gigabit per second system, which is the high performance systems, pretty soon. And then for the footprint optimization, one of the hot topic I would say is the 400 gig ZR that we hear a lot about here in this conference, and this will start to be introduced as early as next year. So I would say that we are there, and most likely we will not be stopping there either.
Fantastic. Well, that's a very upbeat message. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.